It happens only once every 3 years in Charles County. What is it, you ask? The Maryland House and Garden Pilgrimage. I'm Kate Zabriskie, and today I have with me Mary Pat Berry from the Charles County Garden Club to talk to us a little bit about the pilgrimage and what it all is about. Welcome, Mary Pat.
Thank you. Happy to be here today.
So for people who aren't as familiar with the Maryland House and Garden Pilgrimage as you and I might be, what is it and why is it in Charles County every 3 years?
Maryland House and Garden Pilgrimage is its own organization that promotes historic architectural history, and every 3 years Charles County Garden Club is the sponsor of this house tour, we like to call it, or garden tour in Charles County.
Super. Now I understand that the tour moves to different areas of the county depending on the year, and that this year's theme is from Benedict to Bryantown. So tell me, why did you pick this as a theme?
Well, this year Benedict to Bryantown is exactly special because it's the bicentennial of the War of 1812, and Benedict, of course, played a great role in that. And this is an area that we haven't highlighted in a long while, so we're in Benedict to Bryantown this time.
And how many properties are on this tour?
There are 8 sites on this tour this year, and then, of course, the Information Center.
Okay, and if people want to come and participate, how does that work? Do they buy tickets in advance? Can they buy tickets the day of?
We have lots of different ways for people to get tickets. Advance, the tickets are $30. The day of the tour, they're $35. You can go to www.mhgp.org and purchase your tickets online. You can call me at 301-934-2999, always on sale, to get information on how to purchase them by mail. The day of the tour, our information center is the American Legion Post in Hughesville, and the ladies will be there ready to take your $35.
And what are the hours of this tour?
The homes and properties open at 10 a.m. and they close at 5 p.m. So you need to be in that time range. There's also a lunch that you can purchase by advance reservation, and again, I'll be happy to give you that information.
Now, there is one way to get around that I am particularly familiar with, and it's a way that I like to travel, because I've had the privilege of being what is known as a bus hostess for several of these tours. Could you talk a little bit about the bus option and why someone might choose that?
The bus option, Charles County is the only tour in the state that offers this option, where we have a bus by advance reservation only. You will meet at Christ Church in La Plata on the day of the tour. They will take you to all the sites. They will cater your lunch. They will have the bus docents who will tell you about the properties. And it's all taken care of. You leave the driving to us, and that's a $70 ticket, and you can contact me again or Betty Levering, and her number is 301-934. I have to look.
That's okay. We all have to look.
It went right out of my head as soon as I said it. 934-8487. And Betty will be happy to take your reservation for that.
Okay, so tell me about some of the properties that we might see while we're on the tour. Now that we've covered the nuts and bolts of this is how you buy the ticket, this is what you do if you want to be on the bus, but pick a couple of the properties and just tell me something about them.
Well, because Benedict, of course, is central to the War of 1812 story, we wanted to have something in Benedict, and it's a lovely, quaint little town, and we're bringing up the Caleb W. Jones Skipjack from Cobb Island that will be berthed at the River's Edge Restaurant. We're the only tour that's featuring a boat on the tour, and people will be able to board the Skipjack and talk to the captain that day. Maxwell Hall, a county property, will be on the tour. Hasn't been open to the public, and that's being decorated to the hilt by the Hughesville Garden Club as a partnership with us. Evergreen, if you go down the road on Route 5 and see that beautiful Victorian on the hill, is another property, and I've been told all 3 floors might be open, so that's a grand old lady to come see.
Super. I understand that Wilshire Plains is also on the tour?
Yes, Wilshire Plains in Bryantown, near the site of some of the British invasions, but also a beautiful, lovely property, a home that has been there from the 1700s and has been added on to, and the owner is a superb seamstress, quilter, color person. The house is absolutely gorgeous.
Well, that sounds exciting. And as a bus hostess, again, I, for one, am very much looking forward to participating in this tour. Before we end, could you tell me what happens when it rains?
When it rains, the tour still continues. We ask that you bring your umbrellas and wear low shoes so as not to scar anybody's floor, but this tour is rain or shine.
Outstanding. Well, Mary Pat, thank you so much for speaking with me today about the Maryland House and Garden Pilgrimage, and we hope you come out and join us.